Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. I am Dr. Vikas Thakur, Assistant Professor, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Kanpur. So in the last session we started discussion on reverse logistics and we talked about what are the key aspects of reverse logistics, why it is required, and what are the factors which are forcing to implement this reverse logistics network. So we will continue discussion in this session as well, and this part already we have covered. So in this session we will try to see what are the key aspects in reverse logistics, the steps process involved in reverse logistics, what are the factors if you want to be successful in your reverse logistics network, and we will see some of the KPIs, performance indicators, and how we can manage those performance indicators, and then we will end up this discussion on reverse logistics by discussing some cases. So some key aspects, product returns, right? Already we talked about that product can return either because of defects, damages, overstock. If your retail partner is overstocking the product, even then it can come back to you. If simply customer is dissatisfied with the product, even then it will come back to you. Now it is your distribution network, how you will receive it, you will inspect it. If it is a kind of unused product, then you need to inspect that whether new packaging is required, the new that I told you that cleaning is required, ironing is required, depending upon the product nature. If it is not so, if it is used product under warranty, it has come back to you, then you need to inspect how much value is left in that product. And if it is at the end of life, then again you need to identify what are those components in that complete product which you can refurbish or reuse or recycle those components, and then you will come out maybe around 15 to 20% part which you cannot use anywhere, maybe then you will go for disposal if that is the ultimate option you have. So then if you are incinerating the waste, right, so how that energy generated after incineration, how you can use that energy to convert that energy into electricity or some other form. So this is something that a very basic fundamental concept of the nature is that energy cannot be destroyed, cannot be created. So that means why you are wasting then that energy. So how you can use one form of energy to another form is a kind of example. Then the other aspect is remanufacturing, refurbishment. You will take out some parts, use in those parts into some other product, or again maybe you can repair, clean them, reassemble them. So these are the processes under your remanufacturing or refurbishment. So then recycling and disposal. So recycling packaging material, again you will shred that packaging material, again you will come back with the new packaging material. Let us say if it is plastic component, again you can melt that plastic, convert into plastic grain, and then can be used, that grain can be used to to give that plastic in new shape. So that new shape can be come into just a on off switch, or can be used as a casing of your mobile phone, casing of your these remote controls, your electrical components where you are using those plastic material, right. So this is how you can recycle that. Disposal, final disposal, I told you how if hazardous items are there and you need to dispose of those items, so that should be done carefully, because there are guidelines for how you can handle those hazardous items, right. If if those are infectious kind of waste, so you need to go for disinfection kind of process. Then warranty and service management, if you are handling the warranty, you need to repair, you need to replace the components, and what you will do with those replaced components, used components or which are destroyed, right. So that also you need to manage. So this is under warranty if it is coming, already we discussed about this. Asset recovery and remarketing, I told you how much we can recover the value out of that. Maybe the shoe material cannot be used again making another shoe, but it can be used somewhere else. If it is not possible, can we collect all these points plastic or these kind of material and we can use for road metalling purpose? Can we go for a kind of, maybe if it is compostable, so can be used as compost, we can use for maybe those material, whatever the kitchen waste is coming, we can use as maybe fertilizer. So this is how the asset you can recover out of the wastage, right. So and again it should be ready for sale, should be ready for remarketing, not in the same market, so maybe then in the secondary market as I discussed, so then we can go for that. Supply chain optimization, like we try to optimize the forward flow of your supply chain activity, same way we can optimize this, the reverse flow also. We should have the proper information, that visibility, traceability should be there, where we are producing the product, what kind of waste we are generating, how much value is left in that product. So we have softwares quickly can analyze that this much value is left over in that particular waste, and we can use that. So that also we can ensure the efficiency. In collection center we can ensure the efficiency, consolidation of the raw waste we can do that, because if only 20% items are coming back, how you will ensure the economies of scale? When you are, I told you, you are selling 100 items, only 20 items are coming back. So then can you combine, collaborate with some other partner and then utilize the full capacity of the container you are utilizing to transport back to the seller, right. So these kind of things, optimization in warehouse also you can optimize how much inventory you are keeping, that inventory, how quickly you are rotating the stock again to the market after collecting that product from the customer. So these all things should be there when you are talking about supply chain optimization. So we will see one video how this end of life, how we can deal with the product. There is one small video link, you can just go through this video and you can relate the concept more closely with this, right. So dear students, I'm assuming that whenever I'm referring these video links, you are going through, because sometimes I'm including examples from there, so you can refer these videos, okay. So just you go through this link and we'll continue the discussion, right. So how can build this house of reverse logistics? First thing is this reason for this reverse logistics should be very clear, why you are doing this and why your industry need that reverse logistics, right. So either it is pressure from the regulatory authority or your social responsibility, and or maybe corporate, you are building your image in that way, environmental concern, or maybe sometimes the customer awareness, right. So if you will go through this these steps, so first is your reverse logistics input, right. So this is the used part material you are collecting, right, from the customers, and then you need to forecast properly so that you can design your distribution network capacity, consolidation centers capacity in that way, so that you can cater the needs of the customer, right, from where the returns are coming. Then process, if you talk about, so maybe disassembly is one of the very important concept, where you need to disassemble the products, and then you need to find out the products which are having certain value left in those components, and again you can reuse those things. Inventory management, supply chain, repair, refurbishment, manufacturing, recycling, then all these things will be there, processes, activities will be there as part of reverse logistics process. Reverse logistics structure, if you talk about, so you need to develop again the complete structure, reverse supply chain, where you will set up your location, and then inspection, consolidation center. You need to integrate your manufacturing units as well, who will be recovering the value of those products and then again assembling the products in the final one, right. So, again we will ensure the remanufacturing of those products. So, this is the reverse logistics structure. Reverse logistics output. So, you need to price those after remanufacturing again, and you need to set up the relationship with the customer. That is the reverse logistics output. Now, the thing here is, when you are completing this complete system as a customer, if I will say that whatever you are using is made up of maybe recyclable material, that depends upon the product. If it is kind of packaging, maybe you will feel happy, okay, this packaging is again recyclable and then I am not depleting the environment. So, okay, I will welcome this step that they are, because packaging anyhow is carrying the product from one end to other end. After that, once it is done, there is of no use, right. So, then how if they are 100% they are recycling that. So, this is a kind of initiative we will welcome as customer. But if I will say this shirt you are buying is of recycled material, right. So, then you will be maybe little hesitant in that way. If I am paying for new shirt, why I should bear the old one, right, old stuff. But then you need to understand the technicality of this, how this is happening, how they are recycling it, how they are making it a new fabric, right. It is not like that, but still there is this perception is there in the mind of the customer that this is used product, or this is a repaired product, this is a remanufactured product, right. So, these things are there which are challenging, right. As marketing team, you need to overcome these challenges, and sometimes what we are doing, we are selling those products maybe at lower cost in the secondary market, and we are saying that the fresh products which are coming directly from the, if you are using directly your if you are talking about steel, it is coming from the ore. So, then you will say directly it is coming from there, it is fresh steel. So, you are not compromising with the quality, right. So, these are the reverse logistics steps. First you will get the return of the goods, at the gatekeeping it will be checked, right, and then collection will be done. After that, sorting will happen into different categories, right. Then after that, treatment will happen, maybe in terms of remanufacturability, maybe in terms of recycling, maybe in terms of reuse, maybe in terms of repair, and if not all those things are possible, then maybe you will finally go for disposal, that you cannot recover the value, and then you will go for disposal, right. So, you will throw that material in the disposal system. So, we will go through quickly these steps. See, gatekeeping, how this is happening. So, your customer will communicate with the company. If return is authorized, so that means you need to compensate, right. First you need to ask whether you need to authorize that or not. If no, then you can directly compensate. If yes, then you will do the verification. You will check the product whether customer has not damaged it, packaging is there, or seal is not broken, kind of things. You have different checks depending upon the product, right. So, then if it again it is no, you will send back that to the customer, you will not accept the return. If it is yes, return is accepted. So, obviously that now you identified that the fault was the courier partner or maybe the manufacturer or whosoever, but it is your fault, your supply chain fault, right. So, then you will go for compensation, and under either you will give the customer new product or you will return the money. So, in that way you will be sharing the information whether you are returning the money or you are giving the new product. In the end you will collect the old one which is destroyed, right. So, after collecting, the next stage is collection. So, now you will collect. How you will collect? Whose responsibility? Either company will collect directly or third party will collect, or it is the responsibility of the customer. Sometimes after the end use of the product, some companies are contacting with the customers that if you will deposit that back to the company, you will get this coupon, you will get this much off in the next purchase, right. So, this is again very good idea. If let us say we talked about 20 to 25% minimum, the returns are coming from Amazon we are selling, from eBay we are selling, from Flipkart we are selling, right. So, let us say we will develop one strategy. I will ask my customer, if because the product return is 25%, if I'll say any product, any customer is maintaining the return rate less than 5%, so that means I'll give that customer maybe free delivery for maybe next 10 deliveries, or maybe free delivery for 1 year, or maybe 6 months, right, depending upon calculating the cost benefit analysis and all that. But even then, if you see 20 to 25% items are coming back, that is also a cost to the company. So if we can reduce that, in that way we can avoid that wastage as well. We can maintain the good relationship with the sellers also, because if seller is selling the product, after 10 days he is getting back, so then that is also, you know, kind of business relationship will be hampered. So how they can come with that policy? Because if you take Amazon Prime membership, that will also cost you around somewhere 1500 per year, right? So let us give them free Prime membership. So if they are not returning more than 2%, give them free Prime membership. So that means now 22 to 23% you have reduced the returns. So this is one policy which can be considered for this, and depending upon who is collecting, either company is collecting, third party is collecting, then you will ship that product, and again you will be checking the product, right? So then exchange will be done if the product is damaged and it is not the responsibility of the customer, and then you will transport that the defected product to the nearest service point or maybe consolidation center where the sorting will happen. So next step is sorting. So this is one small case study which I was talking about. Canon has done this beautifully. What they are doing, just to collect the cartridge after usage, they are giving the prepaid shipping coupons to their customers. Now customer need not to spend on that, and they are also feeling encouraged that if I am getting the free coupons and no one is going, courier partner is not going to charge anything, let us take this responsibility at least, and we'll give the cartridge after use will return back. Or maybe if they want more loyal customer, they can say on the next cartridge, if you will purchase from Canon, will be given 5% off or 10% off. In that way, you will maintain the healthy relationship, and you will ensure that customer will again and again and again will buy your product, right? And this they have done in 24 countries, right? So for complete case, you can go through this source, right, and search how they have done this, right? So either they are doing this by their logistic partners, courier services, or they are their customers are directly shipping the after using the cartridge, they are directly shipping to Canon, right? Then the next step is sorting. After getting the returns, you need to sort all those returns on different conveyor belts, right? So like I have shown you one video where watch was also there in that big packet. There was t-shirts, undergarments, so many things, toys were there, appliances were there, right? Small appliances were there, books were there. You are getting this segregated kind of products from everywhere, from every customer. Grocery items are also sometimes returned, right? So that policy if allows, so you will receive that return, verify again. If you are accepting that, that means you will return, you will compensate the customer in terms of either you will return the money or you will replace the product. If that is done, after that you will do the sorting, consolidate that product and transfer to the treatment center. Now clothes collected will be sent to the clothing treatment center. Groceries again will be stacked in your grocery warehouse. Books will be stored in your books warehouse, right? Any cold storage items are there. Usually we are on perishable item, cold storage items, there is no return policy, right? Usually we don't find return policy, okay? So this is the step of sorting. Then processing. Now this is done in 3 stages. They choose from a list of processing activities what kind of processing you can do, how that is defined depending upon the what is the age of that product you collected, what is the condition, characteristics, nature, and then sale possibility. If you are doing everything, remanufacturing, refurbishing, and then coming up with the new packaging, even then you are not able to sell in the same market, right? So then it is a kind of economic burden on your company, right? So those 3 dimensions of sustainability you need to somewhere handle. and in the end treatment will be in terms of either you will repack that, repair that, disassemble that, again assemble that, reconfiguring, then again remanufacturing, updating, upgrading or recycling. And this is another very good concept, is donating. If the value is there and you feel that this can be of any use for any other thing, so that can be donated. Secondary markets are there, as I told you, instead of half used item directly disposing them, still very good option is can be use those items in the secondary markets with the lower price, or maybe we can add some value in that and then we can sell those items at a reduced cost. Finally is the disposal system, right? If presence of hazardous material, I told you, you need to treat it as chemical disinspection process, or maybe different treatment options are there. Either this is very common where incineration is done, where we used to treat at 1000 degrees Celsius, or maybe sometimes more than 1200 degrees Celsius we treat the waste. We burn the waste actually at very high temperature, and when we are burning, that smoke is coming out of that, right? Then ash is also coming. If it is hazardous, this ash will be hazardous, right? How we are dealing with that ash, right? So sometimes that ash can be used as fertilizer as well, or if it is not, then you have to go for deep burial, right? So that is also a landfilling kind of thing you need to do, right? So if smoke is coming, you need to pass that smoke through the water, so that those harmful elements should not go in the air. This kind of in disposal you need to take care. Why I am highlighting these points? Because this all, when you will ensure all these things, this will carry cost. So why we are going for incineration? Other option is microwaving, other option is autoclaving. Why we are going for these? All options are for treating your waste. Either you go for incineration, microwaving or autoclaving. So there you are disposing of your waste. So this carries certain cost. Why don't we reduce the disposal system? There should be minimum requirement for disposing of the item, and we should be able to recover the this. And when we have decided that there is no alternate, we can use that heat energy coming out of that. Like now you might have seen very beautiful concept, hybrid engines are coming, right? In Maruti also, if you see Grand Vitara is coming with hybrid engine, they are promising the fuel mileage somewhere around 30 kilometers per liter. Can you imagine, from 15 kilometers they are promising 25, 30, 35 kilometers per. How they are doing this? Because this is now hybrid engine. You will run on fuel also, petrol or diesel, and then battery operated, and these batteries are not charged by any charging station. So that limitation is also gone, that you need charging stations for electrical vehicles. So now what is happening, when the vehicle is running on fuel, petrol or diesel, the wheels are moving, that kinetic energy they are converting into electrical energy, which is used to charge the battery. And when you are maintaining that speed of maybe less than 60 kilometers per hour, you can use that electrical energy to run your vehicle. So this is how the efficiency has increased, right? So we will see just factors for successful reverse logistics. These are some of the factors we will quickly go through. Visibility, transparency, already I talked about. You need to track the products and need to understand the condition, how much value you can recover out of that, right? And in that you need to identify the bottlenecks, delays or areas of improvement. Maybe sometimes it is lacking, we are lacking with the proper collaboration with the customer, where we are not able to collect the product after use. So we need to tap all the stakeholders in that process. And then efficient return management, we need to ensure streamlining all the workflow, right? And we should be clear with the return policies as well. Okay, so once it is returned, how you can again quickly place that order for on your shelf, selling shelf, and it is available for the next customer. So that will show how efficiently you are doing it. Product recovery and disposition, maximum recovery should be there in terms of either you are completely recycling the whole product, or you are using some components of that product, right? In that way it should be maximized, and disposal should be minimum to the end, like incineration kind of thing. And if you are going for disposal, how we can use that disposal process also for generating the energy and storing it for some other purpose. So, to ensure efficient reverse logistics, tracking, feasibility, so collaboration with all the partners, suppliers, manufacturers, retailers and service providers should be there. If you are promoting yourself as green manufacturer and your customer are visiting your retail shop and your retail person is saying that okay, I will not accept this, where I will keep this damaged product, I do not have that much space, that means your strategic alliance is not good with that retailer, right. So, why retailer should do that? You should give enough reasons to retailer to so that means you need to maintain the collaboration, that industry relationship with your complete stakeholders, all the stakeholders should be there, only then the smoother coordination and execution of these reverse logistics activities will happen. Network design is also important, flow of returned products, material and information. So, we talked about the flow of product, right. The information is equally important, like we have now some types of software which can analyze the end product value and life left in that, some of the components quickly we can analyze and we can share the information with the supply chain partner that out of this product these many components we can recycle, and in that way we can minimize the lead time and the processing time, for collection time as well, right. It should not be for longer period of time with the customer, how quickly you can efficiently you can pick the product, right. And then technology integration should be there, data analytics, when you are tracking the system, so obviously you can predict what is going to be the demand for return, what is going to be the demand for end of life product management, and then in the warehouse how you can sort through automated warehouse, we talked about robot controlled warehouse, right. And then predictive analytics tools can be used to maintain the inventory of these recycled product within your manufacturing hub or warehouse. Then compliance with the regulatory requirement, obviously when you address these points, so regulatory authorities will also appreciate these points, because now you are taking care of the product you are producing at the end of life, or byproduct you are producing, or packaging you are as byproduct you are producing in the end. So, that way you will be complying all the regulatory authority or maybe the environmental or legal formalities whatever there. Customer experience and satisfaction. So, as a customer, if every day I am going to dustbin throwing that package, or maybe some person is specially hired person is coming to my doorstep and then taking the garbage every day, and instead of doing that and throwing that in just dustbin, if the courier partner is coming and collecting all the packages and they are delivering the product at the same time, they can collect the product as packaging as well, right. So, that will enhance my involvement with you as as brand, and then I will be feeling more part of that supply chain, I will feel comfortable, I will feel more delighted, because now my brand who is providing product or services to me is taking care of the environment. Continuous improvement and innovation, when we will track the performance matrices, and then we will track the feedback from the stakeholders, from the customers. So, that will happen only when you have deployed the technology, transparent technology for tracking those indicators, performance indicators. So, obviously you can continuously you can improve on those parts. Sustainability and corporate responsibility, that is main. When you are getting so many resources from the environment, you are depleting the environment. So, just you cannot say that this is required as a part of process, this is required. You should take some responsibility of the byproducts you are producing, right. It is not only byproduct of that product you are using in the end market, but sometimes while producing that product also you are producing the waste, right, byproducts. How you are taking care of that, how you are taking care of the carbon emissions coming out of your industry, right. So, that also you need to take care. So, performance measures in reverse logistics, these are some of the performance measures, quickly we will go through. Return rates, how many returns are coming, high return rates means your products are not meeting the customer expectations, low return rates means you are meeting the customer expectations, right. Return processing time, how quickly you are processing the return, and shorter processing time means customer is raising the request related to returning the product or repair or under warranty, and immediately you are repairing the products, right. So, that will ensure return processing time. Recovery rate, how quickly you are recovering the value from the product and maximizing the value recovery, right, and minimizing the waste. That means minimum should come for the disposal. And this I told you that myth is that refurbished hardware was once defective. That is our mindset we need to change, right. Regulatory compliance, how many times we are complying with the environmental regulatory norms, rules, right. So, that also will, so carbon emission, what is the carbon footprint, so that we can calculate and we can compare whether we are within the line of regulatory compliance or not. Disposition cost, like I told you, when you are recovering the value from the end product, that means again you are using, you are not disposing. But when you are disposing, again you will go for burning that disposed product, right, you are incinerating that product waste. So, that means that will carry certain cost. You are transporting to that disposal center, you are storing there, then people are handling that, burning that, again after burning, ash management, all those things are there, and then you are polluting the environment as well. So, this is the cost, direct and indirect cost. Transportation cost in reverse logistics, when you are carrying the product from the end customer to maybe to fulfillment center or warehouse centers to manufacture for again remanufacturing that product, or sometimes you are shipping some components to the vendors from where those components originally were coming, right. So, that will carry some transportation cost. Inventory holding cost, if you are maintaining so much inventory of these inefficient products, then also it will be cost to you. So, either you should sell it quickly in the market again, or you should reuse add some of the components, or you should give those components to some other industry as raw material, like I told you the case of steel used in cars, steel used in aeroplanes or other those precious items, and then we can use those steel, again that steel we can use for manufacturing steel rods or steel sheets, right. Again, because reverse logistics, the very first and basic stakeholder is your customer. If your customer is not educated, throwing your garbage anywhere on the road, on the street, that is quite often this is happening, that you will see garbage all around the dustbin, but not in the dustbin, right. So, other side, outside of dustbin it is full, but within dustbin you see. So, then how efficiently we are replacing the dustbin, that is also very important point, right. But then yes, this thing will start from the customer only. We need to educate, or we need to motivate the customer, like you can give some promotional offers. If you will return the packaging, the next delivery will be free, kind of things, and then customer will feel happy that I am doing nothing, but then I am getting the free delivery just because of and I am playing very important part in that sustainability, right. So, environment impact, you need to take care of carbon emission, energy consumption, and how much waste you are generating, right. Continuous improvement will be there when you will be tracking your performance matrix, and you need to come with the innovative technology of packaging, and I will tell you how this mantra has done that, and this will be done only when your supplier collaboration is there, because some of the components maybe directly will be supplied back to the suppliers, and then again can be used as the raw material. You need to train your manpower as well. If you are using data analytics for predicting the demand, then your manpower should be equipped with those tools. They should know how they can handle this for forecasting. If you are doing the reverse logistics, your courier partner should know about how you can handle the waste in more efficient way, reducing the capacity required to transport that waste again back to the manufacturer. Then technology adoption, maybe software tracking for how much value is left in that product, and these are some of the parts. Packaging tools we are using, RFIDs, IoTs, AI driven approach, where we can be more accurate in finding out how much material is coming from which end, and we can optimize the routes of the vehicles as well to collect that garbage. And then the risk management, contingency plans, right. Risk management, product recalls. I have given you one example how products are being recalled when manufacturers suddenly realize that something has gone wrong, and from Maruti Suzuki, from Volkswagen, from BMW, all those example I have given you earlier. Reverse supply chain integration among all the suppliers, coordination, efficiency and resource utilization. This is complete system. My retailer cannot say that I am not part of that. My courier partner, who is directly responsible for collecting the waste from the customer, waste packaging, cannot say that I am not involved in that, I cannot be part of that, I don't think I can do that, right? Circular economy initiatives, so many organizations are moving towards that. If you are the concept, very basic concept, if anything enters into your circle of production, consumption, taking back, it should not leave the circle, right? So there should not be any concept of disposal of your waste. So whatever you are using, again you should reuse in your industry as a raw material, or you should provide that raw material to some other industry. Already we talked about the alignment. Strategic priority should be there with your all the stakeholders. So retailer, distribution, warehousing agents, manufacturer, raw material suppliers, all should be collaborated, and this will happen, and you can ensure the stakeholder engagement in that, and you can earn more trust, and you can be accountable also for who is accountable for collecting the waste, who is accountable for recovering the value from the product, right? So who is accountable for remanufacturing, so that also you can share. So this is what I was talking about, the case study of Amazon. So they have ensured no fuss return policies and many innovative program policies they have to ensure returns, but because they are promising cost free returns just to build the trust between the customers and manufacturers, and just to ensure that more traffic should come to their website. So the only basic reason is that although they are attracting more customers, but the volume of return product is also increasing, right? So already we talked about e-logistics industry or e-commerce industry, where many products are coming back, and you can just see a record of $761 billion merchandise was returned to retailers in 2021, and this is increasing year over year. You can just compare the figures. So 15-20% increase in every year. So how to manage that? But Amazon has taken this challenge, and now they have avoided more than 2 million tons of packaging material since 2015 by going green packaging. They have reduced 41% per shipment packaging weight, right? And then they avoided 37,150 metric tons of plastic globally, right? So this is how they have done that. Product donation is one thing. They are, through software, they are identifying how much value is left out in that product, and then they are giving those products donation. They are collaborating with the local community organizations, and through those community organizations they are just donating those products to the needy people who cannot purchase the new one. So they are giving those products to new one. This is one example. You can see how many packaging components are used for this standard, and after they reduced, they reduced 14 packaging components, and volume, in terms of volume, they reduced 69%, and air shipped, if you are reducing 69% volume, that much cost will also be reduced. But what is the major thing? See, when primary packaging is there, they are putting again secondary packaging. This is secondary packaging. Here only primary packaging is there. So this is SIP. You are shipping only in your product packaging. You need not to label your packaging on that, right? So this is one big. And then if you are putting separate packaging for all the component, 15 components you are carrying inside that box, again will reduce the will increase the packaging size, weight, and then packaging material. So that is one thing you need to handle. Another case study is on IKEA, which is well known for furniture. Okay, so how they are taking the responsibility of their end products. They try to minimize the waste, maximize resource recovery, and reduce its carbon footprint. So they collaborated with their stakeholders and customers, and they encourage their customers to go for returns, refurbishment and recycling, right. So, under their initiatives, so they product returns management, they said that if within a specific time they are getting the product, so full refund will be given. So, that means they will be recovering the full value of that product. Even if after use they are extending services to their customers, so that they will inspect it, repair it and again will be available for the customer for the next life cycle. So, and if it is kind of you need to dispose of, so material recovery, maybe you are recovering the wood, metal, plastic or other material components you have used in that. So, IIK is doing that, they are collaborating with their customers to collect those materials back, so that again that can be used. So, in that way durability, repairability and recyclability concepts are ensured through that, and they have reduced the amount of waste that was directly going to landfills, because landfill cost is also increasing day by day, right. So, that is also very important. Disposal cost is also increasing day by day. So, how you can recover those components and again utilize that, but to ensure that IIK has to develop a very efficient transportation network, collection network, so that they can collect every end used product and then can be again used, or maybe the components, the OK components can be extracted. So, we can see that how they can be committed to sustainability and environmentally they are responsible just by handling their end products. Okay. So, this is we have seen that how reverse logistics is these days very crucial, because first is your very important stakeholder, customers are now getting more awareness about that, and your regulatory authority, governments are forcing you to be more sustainable, your packaging should be sustainable. So, in that way you have to develop a parallel distribution channel which will collect from the end customer, and you will again ship those products, end of life product or warranty products, or maybe your semi used products, unused products again to your manufacturing facilities. There again you will sort those products, will again use some of the components, again you will sell those products not in the same market, then maybe in the secondary market with the reduced cost. So, this is all about for reverse logistics. In the next class we will discuss about the green logistics, and then we will talk about lean logistics. So, these all concepts will lead towards the ultimate sustainability measures. So, these are the references. So, you can refer these books. So, that is all from my side. Thank you very much.